Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Becoming Kleo. I'm so excited that you're here. Today I have a video about how to strengthen your intuition. So if you're like me and you have these moments in time where you remember your intuition being very strong, but you didn't necessarily have the language or the understanding or the knowledge to identify and express that this is your intuition, then this video is for you. I feel like I have always been an intuitive person for as long as I can remember, but I didn't always know that. And because I didn't know that, I felt like over the years, I developed a lot of self-distrust to where I wasn't able to really understand or identify my feelings, my intuition, to the point where I didn't necessarily trust myself to make decisions or trust myself to be guided by my intuition. And so that's why I created this video. Over the course of these past few years, I've really been trying to find ways to strengthen my intuition, to tap more into it, and then to get more comfortable with listening to that inner voice or that inner knowing, and really just affirming and getting back to that point where I trust my intuition. I'm confident that this is my intuition and I know that it can lead me and that it will not lead me astray. So whether you're someone who's tapping into their intuition for the first time or someone that's trying to strengthen their intuition, then this video is for you. So I have outlined 4 different things that I am doing, have done, and currently doing to help me to strengthen my intuition. So I look at intuition as this deep inner knowing, this deep inner feeling, this inner voice. It's almost as if it's something that you can't describe. It's something that you know to be true deep down in your heart, even if you don't have reasoning or even if you don't understand why this thing may be. It's really just like this deep inner knowing, this deep inner voice that something just is. And sometimes you have meaning behind it and sometimes you don't. But overall, that feeling is that you just know it to be true inside of your heart. The very first thing that I have been doing to strengthen my intuition is to get still and to spend more time with quietness. I find that when you're sitting still and in quietness is when you're really able to receive those gentle nudges, those taps, or those downloads, when you're able to listen and hear your intuition. One, because it's like the stillness and the quietness create an environment for you to just be open and for you to receive with no distractions. So it really helps you to just clear your mind and to be able to welcome in answers or to be able to welcome in that thing that you're looking for. So an example of this is if you're one of those people that's looking for a sign and you're waiting to see if this is the thing you're supposed to do, or this isn't the thing, that this is the thing you're supposed to do, or maybe this is not the thing that you're supposed to do. If you get quiet and then you get still, be able to receive and understand more, because one, you're intentionally creating the environment and creating the space for you to receive without distraction. But two, you're also clearing your mind and then listening to your discernment to decipher whether or not this is a sign or whether or not this is not a sign. So sitting in stillness and sitting in quietness really just allows you to create that opportunity and to create that space where you're able to listen more clearly, receive more messages, and you're also making space for you to experience these downloads, these love taps, just whatever it is that you want to call it. So being in a quiet space is just going to allow your intuition to speak to you clearly because you have a clear mind, you have a clear space, and you're creating and cultivating this opportunity in this environment that allows your inner voice to speak to you. Some ways that you can do this is one, meditation. I'm a huge lover of meditation, whether that's sitting in meditation music or sitting in silence and just allowing myself 10 to 15 minutes to unplug, no distractions, and just allow whatever it is that I receive in that moment to come to me. I'm going to clear my mind and to hold space to be able to receive these informations, these downloads. That's going to allow me to strengthen my intuition. The next one that I recommend is taking a walk. Although you're not being still within a walk, if you take the time to unplug from your phone and maybe take a 20-minute walk and just listen to your surroundings, being open, receive, I feel like that's really when you get those moments of clarity, when your intuition, when those signs, those downloads are coming to you as well. Second thing that I recommend is to learn to identify your feelings. Learn to identify the feelings that you are experiencing. This one is a big one for me. So before, back in 2020, when I first started therapy seriously, for the first time, I had a really hard time identifying my feelings. I wasn't sure whether it would be disappointment, whether it be sadness, happiness, joy, numbness. I really did not have the language to express myself or to identify how it is that I'm feeling. And I know listening to this, it may be like, how did you not know? But for me, I really just did not have that expansive vocabulary to understand or to express myself in the way that I needed to express myself. I say learn to identify your feelings because sometimes we'll have gut feelings, and sometimes we'll have anxiety, and then other times we have intuition. And sometimes those things can cross over. Your intuition, your anxiety, your gut feeling, they're all very different things. I just want you to be able to identify exactly what it is that you're feeling so you can move accordingly. If it's anxiety, you need to be able to know that, to take the time to understand why you're feeling anxious, and then to do the things that's going to help you to ease your anxiety. If it's your intuition that you're feeling, I want you to embrace that, to lean more into that, and to gain understanding as to why your intuition is showing up in the space that it's showing up. The third thing that I recommend is to use previous examples of you being an intuitive person to help you build up that trust within yourself. I have moments in time where I can remember very specific events where my intuition was very strong, but I did not necessarily have the language to know that this is my intuition. So I want you to think back at previous times where later on you found out that this was your intuition, and just make an intentional and mental note about that, because this is going to give you evidence that yes, your intuition has worked in the past, yes, you have intuition, and yes, you're able to use this intuition to build a database of all of the different times that you have had to use your intuition. For me, I think about the times where I had these inner knowings, but I didn't necessarily know why I had them, and then later I found out. So I have like this little database in my head that's kind of just like validation and affirmation that yes, I'm an intuitive person, and that yes, my intuition does work, and that yes, it can continue to work because I have identified the times where it has worked in the past. This is really just validating yourself and then giving yourself permission to understand that maybe you've always been an intuitive person, or even permission to continue to be the intuitive person that you are. The last tip that I have here to strengthen your intuition is to use the resources that you have around you to help to strengthen or tap into your intuition. So there are a lot of ways to do this, and depending on what you believe in, you can use a lot of different tools, because the tools are out there to help you. You just need to use them and know what they are. One of the tools that I use is angel numbers or synchronicities. So if you see these repeated numbers, whether that's on the microwave, as you're driving down the street, on random houses, you see these synchronicities, and maybe it's at a time where you're thinking of something specifically, use the synchronicity as an affirmation that you're on the right path, or use the synchronicity as an affirmation to know that you're getting closer to something, that you're getting closer to exactly what it is that you're thinking about. So I like to use these. I like to sometimes make a mental note of the ones that I see, and then try to figure out what was I thinking about at that time. What was on my mind, and how can I use this information as a guide to lead me? The second thing that I already mentioned in the past was meditation. But use meditation as a tool and as an opportunity to get still and to get quiet and to be able to receive those downloads, receive those nudges and love taps. It's an opportunity to allow yourself to be able to hear your intuition, to be able to hear that inner voice, feel that inner knowing without distractions around you. The third thing is if you're into crystals. Crystals are amazing tools, and every crystal is different. They have their own benefits. So figure out which crystal you want to use and which one will work best for you. You can use them in your meditation practices. You can have an altar with them. You can carry them around. You can wear them as a necklace. It really just depends on how exactly you want to use your crystals. So your crystals to be a tool and a resource for you to strengthen your intuition. Another way that I do this is prayer. I just pray. I pray to God and I ask for guidance. I ask for clarity. I ask for direction. And then I just allow whatever the message is that I'm supposed to receive come to me. Another resource that I am just learning to use are tarot cards. So I have these tarot cards that are designed to help strengthen your intuition with your ancestors. If you're like me and you don't really have that connection with them, understand that some are your spirit guides, some are guiding you, some are helping you, not necessarily in the physical realm, but maybe in the spiritual realm. And I highly recommend looking into this ancestral deck that I have. I'll link it below because I feel like it's a really great way to slowly start to build that connection with them, to get that guidance, to get that understanding, and then to help strengthen your intuition. There are a lot of other spiritual tools out there as well. You just have to look them up, figure out what works best for you, and figure out the exact tools that are going to help you to strengthen your intuition. Those are the 4 things, but to recap, number 1, get still and get quiet, because these 2 things are going to allow you to create that environment in that space where you're able to receive. Number 2, be able to identify the feelings that you're experiencing. Is it anxiety? Is it your intuition? Is it your gut feeling? Figure out exactly what it is that you're feeling, why it is that you're feeling that, and that's also going to help you get clarity and understand how to move forward and in what direction. The third thing is be intentional about recognizing the previous times in your life where you were actually intuitive, where you were actually using your intuition. When you have that mental database, when you have that intentional list, it really just affirms you and allows you to understand that one, you've been using your intuition, two, it's always been there, but now three, you're conscious and you're aware of the fact that it is your intuition. And then number four, use the tools, use the resources that are out there for you to use and understanding in your life, and also help strengthen your intuition. So that is the end of this video. I thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.